Who won the Men's Cricket World Cup? There's still quite a few different opinions on that, I think you'll find. What does the captain think, Kane Williamson? Well, he says cricket certainly wasn't the winner. He spoke for the first time since the final 2 weeks ago today and told us that it was still hard to comprehend that someone's concept of a boundary countback at the end of a tied 50 overs and a tied super over cost New Zealand the match and the cup. At Bay Park in Mount Maunganui this morning as the team prepared for its upcoming tour of Sri Lanka, he told cameraman Nick Monroe and I that when England hit 15 runs in its super over, it was a no-brainer to send out Marty Guptill and Jimmy Neesham.
I suppose with England batting first, we didn't have to name our batters before. Obviously, we knew what we were having to chase, and then with 15 on the board, we needed a few out of the park, and those two are obviously more than capable of that, and they showed that as well. But that was sort of the thought process, but it was all quite new because the idea of a tie and then the idea of a super over, which I think most people on the park hadn't really considered as an option at any stage in one-day cricket, but then to get your head around that and then make a few decisions around that was all quite new. But I guess at the same time, everybody's sort of in the heat of the battle and they're all fairly focused. So, those were the decisions that we went with.
And then how did you feel when it all finished? Because, I mean, you keep your calm so well. The picture on you in the semi-final when you beat India, there was no jubilation. You were just sort of walking back to the team, a lot of calm. Is it a different story inside your head?
Like I say, it's a little bit different perhaps from being outside the entertainment and watching and living every ball. You're sort of being involved with it. You're trying to stay engaged with the tasks that you need to try and achieve at the time. And obviously afterwards, it was a bit of a weird feeling because I don't think anybody could quite make sense of what had just happened on both sides, and probably everybody at the ground and everybody watching it as well. So, but from our perspective, we talk so much about trying to put out performances that we're proud of and playing the cricket that we want to play. And sometimes there are things out of your control that can have an impact on what you do. But we can still sort of be proud that we did put out that sort of performance. And there were some things that perhaps unfolded that timing wise and all these sorts of things that we couldn't quite have a bearing on. But I guess if we're having that mindset in other games that we play, I know the World Cup final, there's a few other bits and pieces around it, and we need to still commit to that mindset in those moments as well.
Now, a country felt robbed, right? I mean, it was just, you didn't lose. You got the same runs. When they come to sort of reviewing these rules around super overs, what should they be looking at? I mean, you got more wickets than England.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because essentially it's someone's idea that's decided the final rather than perhaps cricket itself. And, I sort of feel for our guys, but I feel for their guys as well, and probably all supporters all around, where no one's quite sure in terms of dwelling in the pride of what happened, whether you're on the right side of the result or reflecting on the other side of the result. So it's an interesting one, but both sides, all players involved have played so much cricket throughout their career, whether it's sort of age group coming into representative, then international, and then here you are on the biggest stage where they've all won and lost a number of games. For them to be involved in a game where it's been decided with something that's so foreign is new to everybody.
And then you won so many hearts there with your approach, the whole team, and you provided probably the most entertaining cricket right throughout the tournament. You're known as the nice guys of international cricket. Are you happy with that tag?
Look, it's one of those things we commit to playing the cricket, the type of style that we want to play, and we try and stay true to that. And we definitely have our challenges with that, like every other side, but it is important to us that we try and conduct ourselves in a manner that is comfortable with us. And I suppose it's an interesting thing. You get comments from media or all other outlets that you don't have any control over, like a number of other bits and pieces with what you do. And, so whether you have a tag like that or not, it's not really up to us to I guess, have control over that.
But remember Brad Haddin giving you guys such a hard go at some stage, saying, they're just too nice, I mean, the fact you've been the last two World Cup finals, does this prove that you can be in the top of the world without sledging?
Well, you can do things a number of different ways, can't you? And for us, it's not having the idea of being perhaps or living up to a tag of being nice guys. It's not that at all. Other teams do things different ways, and we respect that, and that's absolutely fine. But for us, it's coming back to the sort of characteristics and the traits that we want to uphold when we play cricket. And hopefully it is having a positive impact on people that watch, and perhaps kids coming through, and hopefully they enjoy watching us play.
Now, you're heading to Sri Lanka. You've been the last two World Cup finals. Some people say, the Black Caps punch above their weight. In a small country like New Zealand, you're competing for attention. And do you feel sometimes that pressure? I mean, that All Blacks attitude of, we won't be happy unless we win the thing. Do you feel that pressure mounting on you guys now, even after what you've achieved?
Cricket's still cricket, and the guys have been playing it for a long time, and obviously being involved in such an epic sort of 2 months. I guess we weren't to know how epic it would be until perhaps the last over of the whole campaign. But there is, I guess, a come down from that. But then there are still scheduled fixtures that are important that guys look forward to get their heads around and get back to just playing the sort of cricket that we want to play, and that strive for improvement as a unit. But as New Zealand cricket as a whole, there's so many guys looking to come through and hopefully driving the performance upwards. And we know that we're going to Sri Lanka, and we're going to have a number of tough challenges over there in those conditions, and they'll be very different to a one-day tournament on different surfaces. But the guys will be looking forward to adapt and try and apply, I guess, those plans and play our best cricket over there.
Now, Ben Stokes said he thinks he'll be apologising to you for the rest of his life. How many apologies have you got already?
No. Obviously that was something that he'd thought of at the time, but no, I know Stokesy reasonably well over the years, and as a side we get on with the English side well, on and off the park, and it's just been an interesting time, I think, for everybody. I guess with Ben and what unfolded, and he couldn't control that, and he played an unbelievable hand throughout the whole tournament, and was a large part of why England were so successful.
He thinks you should be New Zealander of the Year. How does that feel?
I think he was just avoiding that attention himself, so he was just palming it off in another direction. But
does it feel good to be nominated?
By Ben?
By Ben, or I think there'd be a groundswell of support for it.
Oh no, I don't think that will be the case. But a very humbling idea from maybe a couple of people. But it's for us. We're just trying to play the sort of cricket and that we want to play, and it keeps sort of rolling on. We go on to another series, and like I say, we just want to go about our business in a way that hopefully people are proud to get behind us. Certainly the people in New Zealand, and ultimately some young kids coming through might inspire them to pick up the game and like I say, enjoy it and take it through to some later years.
Black Caps skipper Kane Williamson, very humble there. The first of 2 tests in Sri Lanka starts on August the 14th, and there'll be 3 2020s to follow.